Hello, welcome to Bilty's Business Book Review number 7. But it's a bit of a misnomer today because today's an essay that I've read many times and loved it. This is with one of my favourite authors, economist, John Maynard Keynes, who is a really seminal and rare breed of a positive economist. It's not called the dismal science for nothing, but he was writing a essay to his purported grandchildren in 100 years' time. This was because he was looking at it in the middle of the Depression, written in 1930, and there are chiming resonances with our time now, post-COVID, where we're all quite apprehensive about the future. The first paragraph is quite interesting. It says, "We are suffering just now from a bad attack of economic pessimism. It is common to hear people say that the epoch of enormous economic progress, which characterised the 19th century, and I guess the 20th century, is over. That the rapid improvement in the standard of living is now going to slow down, at any rate in the Great Britain. That a decline in prosperity is more likely than an improvement in the decade which lies ahead." And that is the feeling that many of us have, but he looked at it in another way. For the first time in human history, we are able to have a good quality of life and a good standard of living. We've moved away from the standard of living so much, but the quality of life that's come back through this enforced period of sabbatical, really, is actually quite interesting. And he was saying that we won't follow the path that we did before. This is what he says about the rabid capitalists, and you can see why I quite like him. He said, "We shall be able to afford to dare to assess the money motive at its true value. The love of money as a possession, as opposed to the love of money as a means to the enjoyment and realities of life, will be recognised for what it is, a somewhat disgusting morbidity, one of those semi-criminal, semi-pathological propensities which one hands over with a shudder to the specialists at mental disease." And he's just saying that chasing money for the sake of money is nonsense. Of course it is. And so if you've got the choice of how to have a good quality of life, why would you want to keep getting more and more and more? And certainly many of the people I know who have got a disproportionate amount of income, it doesn't bring happiness. Quite often they get removed because you get bigger houses and you get separated out from people, and you know all this kind of stuff, and you have smoke black windows of cars and whiz around at speed and whatever. Actually, by giving yourself more time to spend with people that you care about, to do the stuff that you see every day now, people cycling and walking as families, and doing community-based activities which make you feel great. He's saying we have a choice, and this is the book that I've got that in. It's Revisiting Keynes, Economic Possibilities for Our Grandchildren is the actual, just the essay bit, which is very short. I mean, it's a 10-15 minute read, but this analyses it because actually it's pretty useful. I'll not try and pronounce the people's names, but I will write them down. And he was saying you've got two choices in life. Why don't you have enough, just enough to have a good quality, a roof over your head, quality of food, heating, etc., security, all those Maslowian hierarchies of needs. And actually you don't have to work all the time for the pointless acquisition of cash for the sake of it. And he's saying it's immoral, and there is actually a lot of immorality out there. People certainly that I know that have got immense amounts of money, and their only count is how much they've got. It's kind of tragic, and they're not very happy people generally. So if you come up with this new equilibrium in your life, and let's use the COVID lockdown as an opportunity to reappraise our time, what we want to do with it for the next stage in our lives. We know it will be a very different world coming out of this, but we are in control of what we do with our time, because time is the one thing that we all have the same amount of, and our activities that we do. And if you've found other things that you enjoy doing, make time for that in the post-COVID world. And good old John Maynard Keynes, in his book, or his essay, and the book from it, and there's a lot of stuff in newspapers about him as well, about universal basic income, so everybody has the opportunity to have a basic income, as long as one would say you'd have to tie it in with community-based projects that you would do. It's a fantastic opportunity for us to reset our society away from the rabid consumerism that we've taken for granted. I mean, now we're having a lot less choice of food. Actually, how many people feel that they're denuded quite a lot? No, we're just grateful for what we have got. And I think it's a reset. It's one of many ways you can reset, but the time that you've got, if you're furloughed and if you've got the opportunity, it's worth reading these kind of alternative narratives to your life, because we have a choice of how we live our lives. We have a choice as business people, how we run our businesses. And I think if you can create a space in there for community, obviously for family, for friends, for interests that you know have already, and testing other interests that you may not know already, then you'll have a better quality of life going forward. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Going out in nature as well is actually remarkably splendid. The reason that's one of the few things that you can do now is mentally, it is so good for you to watch the birds. I saw a curlew this morning as I was plogging. Fantastic. I've never seen one before in my life. So just to go out and have that space to actually see nature unfold is, it's really good for your mental well-being. And also it's just jolly nice to get out there and get that exercise, get your 10,000 steps and feel fitter and stronger yourself. Anyway, bit of a left field and change with number 7, but I hope you enjoy it. And if you've got any other great writers that you can think of, just please post them to me. I'll be fascinated to read. But J.M. Keynes, one of my faves. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.